Okay, hi everyone. So the REST API series continues. So we're going to continue the series right here. And right now, we want to be able to return the created orders. You understand? So from the previous episode, whenever we create a new order, we are always being sent the cat ID only. So I'm going to show you what I'm talking about here. So if you come over here, so let's go down to your orders endpoint. So here is the orders endpoint. So it's coming up. So remember, you need to be logged in before you can access this endpoint. So right now we need to pass in the cart ID. So I'm going to paste my cart ID here. So make sure you've watched the previous video. Make sure you've watched the previous episode before you watch this instead. So if you are new here, I'm going to link down this tutorial playlist in this video's description. You get. So what if I click on post now? Let's click on post. So we're trying to create an order based on our cart and cart items. You get. So right now all we are seeing here, we are simply seeing only the cart ID. We are meant to return an order object instead. So I'm going to show you how to return an order object rather than showing just the cart ID. So let's go do this right now. So over here, so I'll show you what so right now, if you remember from our serializers, where is it again? I think it's here. From our order serializer. So coming, just okay, you can see from where we have it here. This is why we are having the cart ID returned to us. But right now, I want to simply update. I want to simply make some changes right now. So I want to be able to return the created order, the exact order that was created, not the cart ID. So let's go do that now. So let's go down to our order view set. So right now we're going to simply customize the create method in our model view set. We're going to customize the create method you get. So how do you go about that? It's like this. So first of all, we are going to return a serializer for creating our order, and then we are going to return another serializer for returning the created order. I'm going to show you how it works. So this is it here. So let's come down here and say dev, and I'm going to say create. So I'm going to customize the create method in the model view set. So just here now. So I'm going to say serializer should be equal to this variable. The serializer here is a variable, and first of all we are going to simply create our order with this first serializer, and after we have created the order, we are then going to return a different serializer for returning the order that was created. Hope you understood. So I'm going to start now. I'm going to say create order serializer, create order serializer. Then we're going to simply say data should be equal to request dot data. And after we've done this, the next thing now is we're going to simply say serializer dot is valid. We're going to check if the serializer is valid. We're going to check if our serializer is valid, right? So we're going to say dot is underscore valid. And then we're going to simply say raise exception should be equal to true. That's to tell you that if the serializer is not valid, we're going to simply throw the appropriate error message you get. So raise exception equal to true, and then we're going to then say serializer dot save. Serializer dot save. Instead, so once we've done this already, the next thing for us to do now is okay, so what I'm going to do now is this now. So we're going to simply, we're going to simply get the returned order from this function. Remember, we created an order over here. So we're going to simply get that order. We are going to get the order from this serializer you get. So right now, we are meant to return that order. Let's return the order. Let's return the order now. Let's return, I'm going to say return order. So this order we returned here, I'm going to simply say order should be equal to serializer.save. So once we've done this already, the next thing for us to do now is so we're going to simply then say we're going to create another serializer that is going to simply return the created order. So right now this first serializer we have here is responsible for creating this order. You understand? Our order endpoint you get. So we're going to we are going to assign a new serializer for returning this created order. So I'm going to say serializer should be equal to, and then going to say order serializer, and then we're going to simply pass order inside. We're going to say order, and then we're going to simply return a response. Now we're going to say return response. We're going to simply just say serializer.data. You understand? So this is it now. So now we are almost done. So whenever you customize the model view set create method, we are not meant to use this context here again. We are meant to pass this context into our create method up here. So right now, if you leave your context here, it's going to throw an error. So to avoid having this error message, we just simply come here. What do? We just copy this context, Ctrl C. You can then comment this out. I don't just commented it out now. Just come over here. We're going to simply just say context should be equal to what you just copied. That's it. You get. So it's time for us to test off. Let's test off what we've done so far, right? So let's run the server again. Ctrl C. Run server. So it's time for, once my server is running, we're going to test and see how everything is going to look like. So right now I'm going to create a new cart. Remember, our orders are being created from our carts. You get. So let's create a new cart. Okay, just come down here. Okay, go down to the API root. API root. Let me copy this. Okay. Okay, let's just say API. Okay, I need to get the ID. I need to get a product ID. So let's just paste this here. Okay, that's my product ID. So right now, just go down to API root. So I'm going to create a new cart. Okay, so click on post. Okay, created. Now so I want to add some other items. I want to add some cart items. So you come over here, you paste, then go down to /items. So let's see. So then now remember I copied my. So I want to add some cart items. I need my product ID. So I have the product ID here. Let me just copy this now. Come over here, paste it. I'll just put in 3 as a quantity. Click on post. So right now I have my cart item. So right now after we've done this, now what's the next thing? I want to go create my order. So this is my cart ID here. Just copy this cart ID up there. Ctrl C. Come over here. Let's create a new order. So remove this here. So right now we are not going to see just the cart ID. Now we are going to see our created order. Right now we are going to be able to return the created order. Rather than we're not going to see this cart ID here again. Again. So just click on the post button. And let's see how everything turns out. Oh, we have an error. It says got an unexpected keyword argument date. So where is this coming from? Okay, so I guess I've seen my mistake. Over here it's called data, not dates. So that's my error. Data. So come over, look down to the browser again, refresh this page. Okay, I think my server is not up yet. You can see our order was returned. You can see right now we are not seeing the cart ID, now we are seeing the return order. You understand? So that's it, because everything is working fine. Before we were just seeing just the cart ID, but right now we are returning our created. Right now we are able to return the created order. Hope you get. So that's just it. So right now, one more thing we need to do now. So right now I'm going to show you. Remember, I don't want to create an order if my cart is empty. No. And also I don't want to create an order if I'm using a wrong cart ID. You understand? So someone can just come in here, put in a wrong cart ID, and they'll create their orders. No, that's wrong. And also someone can just come in here, put in an empty cart here, and then click on post, and they have their order created. That's wrong. So the one we want to do now is that we want to validate our cart ID. We want to validate the cart ID. First of all, we are checking to make sure that the cart isn't empty, and secondly, we are making sure that the cart ID is correct. So how do you go about that? Let's go down to our create order serializer. So we're going to validate our cart ID. So just here, so we're going to say def. We're going to create this function called def. We're going to say validate. So we're going to pick the name. We're going to pick the field name called cart_id. Cart_id. Yeah. So we're doing this now. We're going to simply just return self and then cart ID. Okay, so once the things are ready, so we're going to check now. We're going to say if. So right now, let's check if a cart has this given ID. We're going to say if cart.object.filter. I'm going to say pk equal to cart ID, cart_id. So we're going to check if a cart has this given, if you're trying to check if a cat has this given ID, you understand? So we're going to say dot exist. So right now we're saying if a cat has a given ID, you understand? So right now we're going to put the notes. We're going to say right now, if you put in the note there, we are trying to say that if there is no cat with this ID, you understand? If right now we are saying if there is no cat with the given ID that was provided, so we want to return an error message. You get? So if a cat doesn't have the ID you provided, we are going to simply throw you an error message telling you that this ID is invalid. Understand? So I want to now we're going to say raise. We're going to say serializers dot validation error, and then going to say this ID, this cat ID is invalid. This cat underscore ID is invalid. Understand? And secondly, you want to make sure your cart isn't empty. So how do you go about that? So we'll come over here and we'll say else. We'll say else if cart items dot object dot filter cart underscore ID equal to the provided cart ID. So we are checking if the cart, we are checking if we're trying to see if there are any cart items for the given ID provided. You understand? So I say if cart items dot filter cart ID equals to cart ID dot exists. So we are going to put in the not keyword now. We're trying to say that if there are no cart items for this given ID you provided, so we are going to simply return we are going to return a different error message saying you're going to say raise serializers dot validation error, and this time we're going to say sorry, your cart is empty. Sorry, your cart is empty. You understand? So and then we're going to simply return the cart ID, return cart underscore ID. So right now, okay, so let's go test things out. So to the browser. So right now I'm going to simply create an empty cart. Understand? So let's create an empty cart now. So click on post. Okay, now I should just copy this now. Copy. So now this cart is empty. So now let's go test now. Go down to API routes, go down to your orders endpoints, and then paste this cart here. And then click on post. Right, you can see now it says sorry, your cart is empty. So if I put in so right now I'm going to put in an invalid cart ID now. I'm going to change that E, the last E there, to an R. Let's just put R there. So R, and then click on post. Right now it says must be valid UUID. So okay, so now it says there is this cart ID is invalid. So right now let's use a different cart ID. So refresh this page. You can need a different cart ID right now. So just copy this now. Ctrl C. Come over to this endpoint. So click here and paste that. Let's just change this A to B, and then click on post. Right now it says this cart ID is invalid. You get? So that's because we provided the wrong cart ID. Hope you understood. So right now we've been able to return the created orders, and also we've been able to validate our cart ID. Very, very important. So we'll see you in the next episode. Stay blessed and bye bye.